Okay, so in this session, what we are going to do is that I'm going to explain you about what is bioinformatics, what is genome analysis, because there are a lot of things are there. First, we need to understand that why you are interested in this, or why you are doing it, or why the scientists all over the world they are giving so much preferences to genome analysis. So first, we need to understand that because if you understand this thing, then it will be much more easier for you to follow up the practical part. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start with introduction to genome analysis.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay, so very first thing, the objective is very simple, that you should get familiar with what is bioinformatics. You should know that how to encode the biological data, and there are different degree of biological data which we deals with it. And once you understand that at which level you are, then you will decide that what kind of tool, or you will decide that how you need to proceed your research or your area of interest. Now everyone is might not be interested into research work. They might really want, they might be interested into some area and they want to expertise themselves. So it depends upon that, the decisions which they consider based on what kind of biological data they are interested in, and what kind of result they are looking into, like what they really want to dissect or they want to encode it. Okay, so that is very important. Now the question comes that, okay, I understand that biological data is very important, bioinformatics is very important. Now the question comes that how everything started, because there should be a starting point, right? So like right now we are in a meeting in a same way, a much more complicated way. A lot of, like, few decades back, probably in before 1990s, there was set of important people who has contributed into a research facilities, research area, life science. They had a meeting, okay, and that meeting or a conference was something they really want to put across a lot of information, lot of things which, or lot of issues which they have. So a lot of things they have discussed, and all the discussions has boiled down to three important topics. Okay, so the first topic which they have really discussed, that was radiation. So during that time, Hirasaki Nagasaki attack was there, uh, before that, and they were uh, they were able to see that after that attack, still the people who are staying into that area, they have affected by that radiation. New baby always born with certain kind of mutations. So they were really keen to know about how much and how can a radiation can affect a person who has experience and who has not been experienced. It means that something is transferring into your newborn babies, or the future. So they really want to know about that. Second thing, during that time, cancer was unknown. Still it is unknown. Majority of part has been cracked, but still it's a unknown factor to the industry. And they were getting different types of cancers. They were getting a lot of cases, and still it's a mystery. Till today it's a mystery. That time it was very much. So then they really want to understand that how cancer has some impact on human being. Okay, and third point which they have discussed was like how we are fragile, because the two previous topic which they have discussed, they have seen that any foreign body, foreign environment, or any foreign body can actually change the way who we are. It has the capability to change our normal growth and development. So they really want to know in much more detail that how fragile we are. Okay, so that was a discussion and it was a valid point. Once they have discussed about everything, the conclusion came into the end is that now it's a time that we should discuss, or we should further go for the research to understand that what we have within us. Okay, so that is a genetic material, which is a basic ingredient. It is not only limited to the human beings, but if you're talking about microbes, if you're talking about eukaryotic, non-karyotic, all of them have a same basic ingredient, that is your DNA. Either they are made up of DNA or they are made up of RNA. So it means that that genetic information, which is information or the instruction, is a warehouse or a storage or information center which holds all the mysteries which they were asking about. Okay, and then they have decided that if we really want to understand, or if we really want to elevate our research to the next level, we need to first decode what is there within us. They were quite aware of that this is made up of, genetic material is made up of 4 bases, ATGC, or when it's RNA, so T is replaced by U. That they were kind of aware of it, but they really want to know that if I have something which is an unknown strand, and what is the composition of it, and what does it indicates, does it has any function or no. So all those things comes into the picture, and then they have decided that okay, now it's a time that we need to go and dissect this basic ingredient, not only to extract it unknowingly, but to extract it as an unknown, but find out what is known is present in that strand. Okay, up to here clear? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Very much clear.
Okay, so then so the whole scenario was that we really required a biological data. Now again, there was a plus point which has been added on if we are working with a biological data. That was that it could provide us an opportunity to shift a biological problem to the computational problem. Now the example for this is basically how they have decided all this thing, because that time computer science stream was also developing, and people were working in a life science for their small kind of analysis. They were using computational power because they were not able to store their information in a wet lab, so they were somewhere using a computer system for their storage, and then later on it was become a very important part for the analysis. Okay, so they have understood that the data, we need to do it, and we required a systematic approach. So that's why they have introduced computers. Why? So that anyone whosoever present in any area, like any part of the world, they can access that information. So that is what they were looking into that, and they have found that computers can be a good approach. So they have keep that, okay, whatever we are doing it, let's just keep this into mind that whatever biological data we are going to deal with, at some point we are going to use the computers. That time they have not decided that how we are going to use it, but back of their mind they have that thing, okay, computational problem, so how we can shift between those things. Now one of the most recent example we have for biological data shifting the opportunities, that was during the COVID virus. It was unknown, we had no idea, and it has a lot of impact on a human. So then what they have decided, that once they have found out that in the reality there was a problem, there was a virus, with the help of their tests and equipments they were able to identify that this is a virus, but still that what virus that contains they had no idea. So then what they did is that they used the virus, they have decoded that viruses, and then they have start looking for the small parts of that virus. And because of that, what happens that in less than 11 months we were able to get the vaccine, which is not at all possible if we are going for a traditional approach, because drugs or a vaccine takes a lot of time to come into the market. So that is a one way or one window to show you that with the help of the computers and with the help of the biological problem, we can have the opportunities to transfer those problems to the real world problems, like real world solutions. Now, when they have decided that okay, we are going to work with biological data, there were a three important hurdle, or you can say that there were issues. One was that the information which they were trying to solve, or the mystery they want to solve or decode it, that data is confined under the biological entity, and it's very very small in size. So right now, if we talk about, like, we have 23 chromosomes, we have like more than 50,000 of genes are available, more than 3 million base pairs, and we are deployed in nature, so the information is huge, and that information is somewhere is unpacked in the cell inside the nucleus, which is less than, I guess, less than 1 micro. Like, it's very small and it's very compact, and that compact is having all the information. So it means that whatever the information we are really want to use, it's very confined, and it is consist of a lot of biological entities. Okay, so that was a first issue. Second issue was that it has a lot of diversities, because we are talking about DNA, RNA, proteins, enzymes, metabolites, a lot of things are there. And the deeper you go into the biological data, you will find a lot of terms. You will find that okay, there's an immune system is here, these are the types of cells are there, so a lot of diversities are there. So that was one of the issues. The third issue was that detailing is required, because if we really want to know the what's the core problem is, first we need to get the core information. So it means that we require a detailing. We require a detailed information, so that we can use that information and convert into the understandable form, so that we can enhance our knowledge. So those are the three issues which we deal with biological data. So that's why it's very important that whenever someone is starting with a biological data analysis, they have to be very much clear that whether they are going for DNA, RNA, proteins, like what exactly they want from that kind of analysis. So that's why it's very important. Okay, now the question comes that okay, but who's contributing to this particular data? So there are three important major role, and you can see that this is our power system. Technically, we tell that okay, mitochondria is our power cell of our, like, power system of our system. But if we look into in our system, we always require a growth, development. So for any functionality we require proteins. If any functionality has to be built, we require a messenger RNA, and if the messenger RNA need some instructions from the higher body, that is a DNA. So whatever we have or whatever we are going to do in any biological data, somewhere directly or indirectly it is connected to your central dogma of molecular biology. So most of the time you will see that people are interested to understand the complete gene structure or genetic structure, so they go with the DNA when they really want to know that okay, what is there. So in your case, when you want to compare the two organism, or you want to compare in general, the question comes that whether you want to compare them on the basis of their genetic material. That means that are you comparing them based on a DNA? If you want to compare them on mRNA basically based on its gene expression, so then RNA comes into the picture. Proteins, still a lot of studies are going on, but still we use transcription. ChIP-seq is one of the technology which we use for DNA and protein interaction. Okay, so ultimately whatever kind of analysis or any kind of data which we deal with, they fall into three category, majorly two category, that is DNA or RNA. Protein is something which is very big, and people don't use it much right now, but they use it in an indirectly approach manner. There are some analysis where we can do the protein, but indirectly they look for the RNA and then they find out that which function it's contribute. So these are the three major important elements which are contribute to the biological data. Okay, now obviously whatever the information I have provided, we have 3 million base pairs, we are deployed in nature, we have 50,000 genes or 70,000 RNA, lot of things are there. So how it all started? So after that meeting, they have decided that okay, now it's time that we need to decode whatever we have within us, and then a major project was initiated in 1990s, and it got completed in 2003 by the end of 2002, but while compiling all the information it took another 6 to 7 months. Okay, so that means that the project literally took more than 1 decade. It took $3 billion at that point. It was a contribution, it's a combined project, government plus the professional, the private industry. They have combined it, and what they have do it is basically they have tried to extract each chromosome, each cell, and the institutes all over the world, more than 100 maybe thousands, they have come and they have initiated this project, and they have extracted the DNA, and then they have note down, they have decoded that at this particular position which base is present. So once they have did everything, it becomes a huge data. More than 3 GB of data they have accumulated that point of time, and the information they have got at different levels was very interesting. They were able to understand the chromosomes, DNA, genes, RNA, and even with the help of those, they can use for gene mutations, a lot of personalized medicines. They can understand that information for genes and disease, because right now they have a full library, the library which is having all the information that this chromosome having these many sequences, this particular sequence starts from this base, ends with this, this is a part of a gene, this is a coding or non-coding. Okay, so then that whole project is known as the Human Genome Project, which is the blueprint of our life. India is doing its home Human Genome Project after the COVID hit, so mostly in 3-4 years, I hope. Let's see that how they are doing it, but we will get our human like Indian people will get their own human assembly. There are countries who has did it. We have some reference data which are present in the website. Okay, so this particular project, when it was completed, they were not expecting that amount of data will they encounter. Okay, and once they have encountered with that kind of data, they have understood that this is a right time to introduce a new field, on that field which not only deals with the information they are doing it, but that field can also be enhanced so that we can use this information for the biological problems, and that field was bioinformatics. So in 2003 bioinformatics came into the picture, which is basically working with the biological data with the help of computers and making sense out of that biological data. And that's why bioinformatics not only deals with like initially there was only 2 phases in a lab. There was a wet lab, and there was a like in vitro and in vitro and in vivo. So the person who's working in a lab will be doing all the working with the chemicals, doing the extractions, and whatever the results they are getting it, they will use for the animal modeling, like in vivo. They will look within the system animal model. But once the bioinformatics comes to the pictures, they have checked a lot of things. They have started doing the analysis. People started contributing into this field. Then they have coiled a new phase, which is known as in silico, or a dry lab. Dry lab because you are not using the chemicals, you are using a system. So that's why in bioinformatics, a computer system play a very very important role, and you will be dealing with a data, and data can be a good size. So that's why computer systems are must for bioinformatics analysis. Okay, so that is one thing. So initially they were using wet lab, and then they were using animal model analysis, like preclinical trials. But after this scenario, it has been changed as that first you go with a bioinformatics. You will understand that what are the important biological elements. Then you will test them into the wet lab. Once the wet lab will give you the good result, you can again cross check with the dry lab, that is bioinformatics. Once you get the confirmation, you can go with a animal model, in vitro studies. So that's why the COVID vaccine was able to they were able to build a chimeric vaccine in less than 12 months, because of the availability of the data. They were able to say that COVID is basically 98%, it shares 98 percentage of similarity with SARS. How come? Because they know that that much of similarity they share at the genetic level, and also based on that they were able to identify the functionality. And then when a new variant come into the life scenario, they were able to say that whether that variant will contribute to, like, it will enhance its functionality or not. So they were able to say all these things because of the data availability. So after the bioinformatics comes into the picture, there were new areas start developing, like data visualization, networks, omics, simulations. Right now, genome sequencing is one of the most important field for bioinformatics, and 80 to 90% of work, or maybe more than that, of a work is being done on sequencing, just to understand that what kind of information that particular microbe or a eukaryote holding. Okay, so that is what is that is are the applications areas of your bioinformatics. And in anywhere, whether you're working in agriculture, food industries, because at the end of the day you will be working with DNA or RNA. So the basic ingredient is same, and bioinformatics has the ability to analyze those informations. So that is important. Okay, up to here, any doubt? Clear?
No, ma'am. It's fine.
It's fine.
No doubt. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in bioinformatics we have two approaches in general. One is surface level, another one is a deeper level or a core level. Okay, so in surface level what we do is that in surface level we have databases, because I have told you about that uh, human genome project work happened, and all the informations has been stored in a database. Okay, so one of them, and because there was 2-3 countries were involved. US was obviously the part of it, Europe was a part of it, and UK was also part of it. Okay, so different countries, they have shaked hand there, and they have their own database. It means that the database is something which is having all the informations, so that you can use that information and you can start with your analysis. Okay, so one of them is NCBI, which is highly known. You can see that it's a National Center for Biotechnology Information, and if you click into all databases, you can see that they have so many tools. So it's a hub. Now why I'm showcasing you this one, because NCBI offers a lot of tools which can be used as the surface level, which means that, for an example, if I'm using this tool, I can see that there are certain popular resources. First one is PubMed. PubMed is basically where you can search for the paper publication, the papers which has been published. So for an example, if you're interested into anything, for an example, I'm interested into COVID-19, so I can get a lot of papers which comes under COVID-19. Now again, it depends upon me that how I'll search my result, and I can review a paper. So that was a one database. The databases which we use for the analysis are the one which is holding the information of sequence or sequence related information. So for an example, though we have DNA, we have protein, it means that we have nucleotides, we have proteins. So if we are interested into finding the nucleotide sequence, we can click into nucleotide. And for an example, I'm interested into kinase. I know that there is a kinase protein present in a human body, and right now I'm interested to find out that tell me the actual sequence of a kinase. I can see all the taxonomy, the kinase is present, so based on that you can select it. I'm just going with the very first one, that is for yeast, Saccharomyces. And if I click into the FASTA, so FASTA is basically a way they have stored the sequence title, along with that a unique identification information, so that it will have the unique ID, the organism, and extra information. So this is known as FASTA sequence, that is a fast aligned sequence, fast alignment sequence tool. Okay, so this is what you use for a primary analysis. Why I'm saying that primary? Because this is something which you have not found it in a complete genome. It is already available to you, and based on this you will copy it and you will find the solutions. For an example, you will find that what is the protein present, where exactly the exons are present. So now this is CDC, it's a complete one, but if you have any sequence, you can search for any sequence, or even you can search for a gene. So for an example, I'm interested into the gene for kinase. I'm showing you some practical so that you will get understanding on that how things are. So for an example, I'm interested into the gene. So EGFR is basically associated with epidermal growth factor receptor. So if I click into that, I will get the gene information. It is present in a chromosome number 7. These are the alleles, and I can get all the information which is related to the gene. I can see that it is present on chromosome number 7. It's right strand. I can see that this is the direction it is present. This is the coordinate information. I can get the FASTA sequence, and now this FASTA sequence will have okay, so this is for the complete chromosome number 7. So this is the complete sequence of the chromosome number 7, which is quite huge. So this is my
Excuse me,
chromosome.
ma'am.
Yes,
One doubt.
yes.
Ma'am, I also tried this like faster sequence only for the whole genome of Metarhizium species on which I am working. But in that, some of the sequences they are in the caps, and some of them they were in the like small letters.
Right.
So how to clear that? How to make those small letters also into caps one? Because when we are going to blast, when we are running the blast for that, so at that time it was creating an issue.
Okay. So like how you were doing it?
Ma'am, I first of all in all databases I selected genome,
Hmm.
where it is nucleotide written, and then I wrote Metarhizium species in the search.
Hmm.
So there were in total 31 species on which I'll be working. Some of the sequences they were present in the scaffold, some of them they were in the chromosome. Only for the four strains, I guess, they were
Hmm.
like complete sequence was there. And ma'am, when I tried to like retrieve the sequences in a faster format, I found some of the sequences they were in the caps only, like it is seen in the on the screen also. But some of the in between some of the sequences like GAT, GCT, like this, they were in the small letters.
Right.
So when I tried to run blast for the same, I was facing an issue. It
Oh,
was showing that it is not in like
right.
correct.
So what you can do is basically, first thing is that Blast, you were using online one, right? So
Yes,
obviously,
ma'am. It is available
yes,
in this
yes.
NCBI only.
So online doesn't have that much of power, or it will take some lot of time. That is one reason. Another reason is that why you are getting some of them are in caps, some are in the small, because of they must be variant, or maybe they have generated by the machine's codes. They cannot be the, they could be the part they have detected by the machine, but there is no evidence, or if there is any variations, so that's why they have saved in a small letters. So that could be the reason. Okay. In one case what you can do is basically, if you have, don't look for all the similarity. What you can do is that whatever the sequence you are interested in, just copy the first sequences, do the blast, because what you want to find the comparison, right? That
Yes,
is
ma'am.
what you're
Whole
looking.
genome sequence
Yes,
analysis I have to do.
you whole genome sequencing analysis you want. So Blast will only compare these sequences. Like for an example, if you have one sequences and you want to find the similarity among the other sequences, then you go with the Blast. If you want to find out the regions which are present are similar, then you go with a multiple sequence alignment. For that, another tools are present. If you really want to find all the sequences which are present, you need to go to whether there are databases available. From there you have to download the different strains.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so you will have all the different strains are available. You need to find that whether that, for an example, for human is very known one, so that's why we have a database, separate databases. If you are interested into uh, east, so for east also you have database, that you need to search that, and then it will have all the information. So there are multiple ways databases are present, and then you will start looking for the genome which is present for that particular sequences. Because in NCBI you need to see that the sequence which you are working with, it's an actual sequence or a hypothetical sequence. That is again a problem, like how accurate that sequence we are working with. That's why a lot of people, what they do is basically, if they have organism in their mind, they will culture in their lab, they will get all the information, or they will look for the sequencing data which is present online, and then they start doing the work. Okay. In this search also, whenever you're doing, you should be very 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 precise. You can see that I have looked for kinase, I'm getting so many results. So I have to be very very effective in my searching, and I have to be look for that, what the sequences you are using it. Okay, so you need to understand that whether that organism has a database or not. Is there any paper available in that they have provided any accession ID or not? If they have provided, then you can use that data, and you can cite that the data you're using has been mentioned in this particular paper. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing. Ma'am, for the species that I'm working, it's a fungi. And ma'am, I tried a fungus database also.
Hmm.
In that database, only one of the species, like Metarhizium annis poli करके कुछ था,
Hmm.
उसमें सिर्फ वही अवेलेबल था,
हम्म,
एंड मैम उसमें जो डाटा था दैट वाज एक्यूरेट, बट जैसे मैंने एनसीबीआई से लिया तो इन दैट इट वाज लाइक 31। मैम कैन वी जस्ट डू दैट, लाइक उससे ज़्यादा क्लैरिटी होगी अगर आप या मैं करूँ या फिर आप अगर कर सकते हो।
you can share your screen with me.
जस्ट अ मिनट मैम। मैम आई डोंट नो हाउ टू डू, लाइक आई एम doing but it is not. mm,
You can see the down arrow at the bottom.
yes ma'am, I clicked over there but it is not, like share button is not getting highlighted.
You need to say that you need to allow. Are you
Yeah,
using Chrome?
that's, uh, ma'am it's not happening, I have to check the settings.
Okay, I need to grant you permission.
No issue ma'am,
Do it
या
again.
तो अपने उससे कर लीजिए एक बार। इन द
Uh,
नेक्स्ट मीटिंग आई विल अलाउ दैट बिकॉज़ अब मुझे चेक करना पड़ेगा
yeah,
पूरा।
in my case, I don't know why this is not happening because it should happen. You do it because I'm not, there's no permission, I'm doing it. Okay, do it again.
Ma'am it's happening, just a minute. I have just a minute, just a minute. I think it's ये हो गया मैम, ये तो not to avoid any info, don't show you not listening. Is it fine ma'am?
Yeah, this is fine.
Just a minute, let me. Ma'am screen is visible now.
Yes, it's visible. This is the data you are interested in, right?
Yes ma'am. Ma'am there are 31 strains available but only 4 of them has the complete sequence.
Obviously, if somebody has not performed anything, so how that data will be available to you?
Yes ma'am. I think network issue. Mm. मैम द मेन थिंग दैट आई वांट टू लाइक आस्क इज कि वो जो उसमें बीच-बीच में स्मॉल लेटर्स में आता है,
Hmm.
तो उसमें उसको जैसे कोई 1 मिनट हो गया। हाँ, तो जैसे मैम ये है, इसका मैंने फास्टर सीक्वेंस ही अगर मैं आपको दिखा देती 1 मिनट, वो तो फिर मेरे पास है डाउनलोडेड। जस्ट अ मिनट मैम। हुँ। एक तो मैम ये सीक्वेंस इतना बड़ा होता है कि कई बार तो मेरा लैपटॉप भी मतलब बंद हो जाता है करते-करते ही।
इसलिए मैंने आपको बोला ना कि सिस्टम की प्रेफरेंस बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होती है। अभी आपका जो डेटा है, आई डोंट थिंक सो इट्स ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है। द फाइल्स विच वी डील विद आर ऑलवेज इन GBs और एटलीस्ट स्टार्ट्स विद 800 MBs। साइज़ बड़ा होता है उनके लिए। और अगर आपका सिस्टम अगर उतना लोड नहीं उठा सकता है,
Yes ma'am. See ma'am, the sequence they are like this.
ओके,
So how to rectify this whole?
what do you
फाइन।
want to do with this sequence?
मैम इसमें मुझे कंप्लीट जीनोम एनालिसिस करना है, कंप्लीट इसको मतलब डिफरेंट स्ट्रेन्स के साथ कंपेयर करना है।
हम्म
तो मैम ये फिर अगर मैं इसको इवन फाइलोजेनेटिक ट्रीज अगर मैं स्टडी भी करती हूँ तो भी मैम इस उस पे सीक्वेंस नहीं रन कर पाती मैं अपना।
हाँ,
और
क्योंकि
मेक
दैट टूल यू आर यूजिंग दैट इज़ ऑनलाइन, सो उसमें इतना पावर ही नहीं है कि वो यूज़ कर सके।
यस मैम, पार्डन मैम, आई डिडंट गेट।
I said that whatever you are using the online tools. Online tools की जैसे system की कुछ, अगर if that is not powerful, it is not going to run. It will stop that process क्योंकि that much of load it cannot take.
ओके।
Now जो आप जो sequences करना चाहते हो, that is a pretty big insights. So for that there are different set of tools are available.
ओके।
ठीक है, सो आपका जो मेन चीज़ यही है कि यू हैव अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रेन्स, समवॉट 18 स्ट्रेन्स, और हाउ मेनी स्ट्रेन्स आर देयर?
31 मैम।
31 स्ट्रेन्स, और ये आपने NCBI से निकाला, राइट?
हाँ मैम,
एंड
NCBI से।
ओके, सो ये जो आप कर रहे हो दैट इज़ यू आर डूइंग द कंपैरिजन विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द फास्टा सीक्वेंस, एंड you want to compare all of them,
यस मैम।
and plus then based on that आप phylogenetic tree करना चाहते हो, and I think so later on you want to do the annotation also, right?
फंक्शनल एनोटेशन ऑल्सो, यस मैम।
Okay.
एंड जीन्स के ऊपर भी बाद में, बट अभी तो जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग ही नहीं हो रहा, तो जीन्स वाला वर्क तो।
This is not genome sequencing. The very first thing is that this is not sequencing. ये
ओके।
sequencing है ही नहीं. You are just
ओके।
comparing genome का sequence. That's
ओके।
it. Sequencing something is that you have a, this is a FASTA sequence.
यस मैम।
When you compare sequencing data जो है वो एक अलग machine से आता है which is much more accurate. We need to do a proper analysis. Where exactly ये जो spades हैं, these are the things used into that. This is already available data. You are just doing a primary sort of analysis. You have a FASTA sequence. आप उसको compare कर रहे हो. For an example, एक अलग एग्जांपल लेते हैं. आई एम इंटरेस्टेड राइट नाउ, यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इनटू अ जीनोम फंजाई, ठीक है. फॉर एन एग्जांपल आई एम इंटरेस्टेड इनटू इंसुलिन. इंसुलिन is also present in different organism. So for an example, I am interested into insulin and I really want to understand that how closely my insulin is related to the insulin which is present in the other organism. Then what I will do that I will download all the insulin sequences which are present in a database. For an example, NCBI. I will have all the FASTA sequences which are made up of ATGCs. Okay, and then I will do the comparison just to see that how they are different from one another.
So ma'am, we have to like extract the genes. We don't need to do for the complete genome.
See, if you already have a FASTA sequence, then you will go with the other set of analysis, and the one your ma'am is saying about using spades, using all these things, those comes parallelly. So अभी आपने तो already you have started with your analysis, you are getting a doubt, right?
यस मैम। मैम एक्चुअली मैम मुझे शायद क्योंकि मैं फर्स्ट टाइम कर रही हूँ तो मैम मुझे थोड़ा ना इन टर्मिनोलॉजीज में भी शायद कंफ्यूजन है। फॉर एग्जांपल जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग, मुझे लग रहा था कि ये पूरा मतलब 7 क्रोमोसोम्स है इसमें, तो इनमें पूरा मतलब जो भी इनका सीक्वेंसेस है वो मैं दूसरे स्पीशीज़ के साथ कंपेयर या दूसरे स्ट्रेन के साथ कंपेयर कर सकती हूँ। तो मैं तो जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग को ये समझ रही हूँ कि कंपैरेटिव मतलब उनका करना।
जीनोम
तो
सीक्वेंसिंग एक अलग मेथड है.
ओके।
अगर ठीक है, सीक्वेंसिंग की मेथड है विच आई हैव मेंशन इन आवर प्रेजेंटेशन. वो एक अलग मेथड है, वो एक अलग
ओके।
टर्म है. आप जो कर रहे हो वो भी आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो, आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो स्पीशीज़ को
ओके मैम।
बेस्ड ऑन इट सीक्वेंस.
ठीक है, तो मैम ये जो डाटा है फास्टा पे जो अवेलेबल है, इससे मैं अपना कंपैरेटिव कर सकती हूँ, मतलब
आप
जीनोम का पूरा कंपैरिज़न विद अनदर स्पीशीज़।
हाँ, आप कर सकते हो.
ओके।
मैंने इसलिए आपको प्रेजेंटेशन में बताया कि एक होता है प्राइमरी इन द सेंस कि जो भी डेटा अवेलेबल है
ओके।
जो कि उसके ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में है. दिस इज़ योर ओरिजिनल फॉर्म. यू वर एबल टू सी दैट ओके ये इसका जीन आईडी है, ये इसका नेम है, या ये इसका एक्सेशन नंबर है, यहाँ पे इस पोजीशन पे ए है, इस पोजीशन पे टी है. सो यू आर एबल टू सी दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूक्लियोटाइड और दिस एक्सेशन नंबर बिलोंग्स टू इट. इट मीन्स दैट यू आर गेटिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन इन द कंप्लीट मैनर. ये आपको कंप्लीट मैनर में मिली है, राइट?
यस
So
मैम।
whenever something you are using which is present in the complete manner and you are using the already available tools, जो कि ऑनलाइन टूल्स है, जैसे ब्लास्ट आप यूज़ कर रहे हो,
ओके।
मल्टीपल अलाइनमेंट करोगे तो एक अनदर टूल यूज़ करोगे. सो यू हैव डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ टूल्स, देयर आर मैनी टूल्स आर अवेलेबल. तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप बेसिकली एक एनालिसिस कर रहे हो, पर वो एनालिसिस आपका पूरा आपके टूल्स के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है और डेटा आपका ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट है.
ओके
ठीक है,
मैम।
और वो ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में अवेलेबल है. जब आप उसका एनालिसिस करो सो दैट इज़ समवेयर यू आर डूइंग अ प्राइमरी टूल्स को आप यूज़ करके एनालिसिस कर रहे हो. व्हेन इट कम्स टू द सीक्वेंसिंग, इसका मतलब ये है कि फॉर एन एग्जांपल आपने फंजाई, या आपने नहीं तो किसी और ने कोई फंजाई जो है कहीं ना कहीं उसने ग्रो किया है और उसका कंप्लीट जीनोम का डेटा उसने लिया है, और वो जो डेटा है वो रॉ फॉर्म में है. आपको ये नहीं पता कि वो कौन से क्रोमोसोम में प्रेजेंट है, जो ये डेटा है ये सारा कोडिंग वाला है या अनकोडिंग वाला है, ये कौन से पार्ट में प्रेजेंट है. जब वो रॉ डेटा आता है उसे कहा जाता है सीक्वेंसिंग डेटा.
ओके मैम।
जो रॉ डेटा तो होता है, पर वो जितने भी चंक्स में प्रेजेंट होता है, जो फ्रेगमेंट्स में प्रेजेंट होता है, उसे कहा जाता है कि वो उसके फॉर्म में है, वो मशीन ने उसको प्रिसाइसली रीड किया हुआ है. फिर उसको हम जो अननोन है उसके अंदर से जब हम एनालिसिस करके उसको फाइंड आउट करते हैं, जैसे लोगों ने कैसे पता करा कि कोविड वाले डेटा के अंदर ये पर्टिकुलर प्रोटीन है, इस साइट पे प्रेजेंट है, ये तो अवेलेबल नहीं था ना पहले.
हाँ जी मैम।
सो व्हेन दे हैव डिड दीज काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस, तो वो पूरा सीक्वेंसिंग उन्होंने पहले की, डेटा का पूरा रॉ डेटा निकाला उस ऑर्गेनिज्म का, और फिर उसके अंदर उन्होंने एनालिसिस की. उसके अलग अलग देयर आर डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ टूल्स आर अवेलेबल.
ओके।
एंड देन उन्होंने जो किया वो है डीपर एनालिसिस.
मतलब जो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड डाटा अवेलेबल है, जो सीक्वेंस है, उसको उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे में करना, उसको जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग बोलते हैं।
जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग होता है. इफ़ आई जस्ट शेयर माय स्क्रीन, आप
अ,
अपना शेयर करना बंद करो, लेट मी शेयर माय.
यस मैम।
सीक्वेंसिंग एक प्रोसेस होता है, जो एक मशीन होती है विच इज़ एबल टू डिटरमाइन द एग्जैक्ट ऑर्डर ऑफ न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स विद इन अ डीएनए और आरएनए फ्रेगमेंट. और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन सीक्वेंसिंग एक पूरा होल प्रोसेस है जिसमें आपका डेटा प्लस आपका एनालिसिस के टूल्स आते हैं विच वी वर्क टू गेट दी डेटा. अभी आपके पास फास्टा सीक्वेंस आ रहा है, दैट इज़ द आउटपुट वी गेट एट द एंड, जिसे हमें बनाना पड़ता है जस्ट टू फाइंड आउट उसकी एनोटेशंस के साथ. ये जो प्रोसेस होता है इसमें पूरा डेटा एनालिसिस होता है.
ओके, तो मतलब वो तो ऑलरेडी सीक्वेंस्ड है, जो
हाँ.
फास्टर वे पे अवेलेबल है।
हाँ,
तो उसको हम सिर्फ यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर फाइलोजेनी स्टडीज।
आप उसको फाइलोजेनेटिक में कर सकते हो, आप उसके जीन्स फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो, बिकॉज उसका अगर
ओके।
डेटा अवेलेबल होगा सो यू कैन डू इट. यहाँ पे जो हम डेटा से डील करते हैं दैट इज़ फास्ट क्यू डेटा. यहाँ पे अलग फॉर्मेट्स होते हैं.
ओके।
फिर आप जब वेरिएंट्स फाइंड आउट करते हो तो VCF फाइल्स होती हैं जिसमें आपने GATK और ये सब कुछ किया है, ये सारी चीज़ होती हैं. ब्लास्ट
मैम
होता.
तो
हाँ,
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट।
नहीं नहीं बोलिए. तो इसलिए मैं कह रही हूँ, जब आपकी मैम ने आपको बोला तो देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ अप्रोचेस वे देयर. अभी आपने जैसे बोला कि यू हैव अ सीक्वेंसेस, आपके पास 31 सीक्वेंसेस फास्टर सीक्वेंसेस हैं, एंड अल्टीमेटली यू वांट टू फर्स्ट कंपेयर करना है उसको, राइट. राइट, यू वांट टू कंपेयर दो सीक्वेंसेस और फिर उसका फर्दर एनालिसिस करना. You are not audible to me. Hello? You are not audible to me. पहले तो सब सुनाई दे रहा था. वापस से ज्वाइन कर रही रखो.
प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारे एंड पे, मुझे सुनाई दे रहा है.
तुमने वहाँ से क्यों ऑन किया?
उससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
तुम्हें सुनाई दे रही, मुझे नहीं सुनाई दे रही.
ये यूज़ करो. हेडफोन्स में खराब हो गया.
खराब नहीं हुए हैं. Can you say something? Not audible. Hello? Yes, am I audible to you? Am I audible? You are not audible to me. Hello? Maybe she left the meeting. Hello?
हेलो.
Hello, 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 hello.
लगा लो हेडफोन.
Hello? Your voice is still, I'm not able to, not audible to me. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just log in from another system and let me see.